Okay, 6 o'clock. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Would you all please join me in the pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Okay, first off, we have appointments of our district clerk and deputy district clerk. Could I get a motion? Paul, in a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Noes? Abstained? Okay, motion passes. Number 4, oath of office. I will administer the oath of office to Bridget. If you repeat after me. I do solemnly swear.
I do solemnly swear
That I will support the Constitution of the United States.
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
And the Constitution of the State of New York.
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
And that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of district clerk.
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of district clerk
According to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Great, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So I will now do the give the oath of office to our member-elect, Paige Cotter-Sullivan. You can raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of school board member
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of school board member
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
And now I will administer the oath of office to Jason Musk. Raise your right hand. Repeat. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of school board member
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of school board member
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
And the oath of office to our student board member, Sadie Burgess. You could raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of school board member
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of school board member
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Nice. And now I will administer the oath of office to Superintendent Dr. Meyer. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York.
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of superintendent
And I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of superintendent
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my abilities.
and administer the oath of office to Deputy District Clerk Janet Atwell. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of Deputy District Clerk,
and that I will faithfully
discharge
discharge the duties of the office of the Deputy District Clerk
according to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
And now I'll do a roll call. Tom Broderick.
Here.
Paige Cutter Saltama.
Here.
Paul Fenton.
Here.
Darlene Hooper.
Here.
Sarah Coleman.
Here.
Deb Spalding.
Here.
Jason Welch.
Here.
And I now like to open the floor for nominations for the president of the Board of Education for the 25-26 school year. Deb,
I nominate Darlene.
can I get a second? Are you second?
Yeah.
Any further nominations or discussions?
I'd like to nominate Jason Welch.
I'll second.
Okay, so we'll do a roll call vote. Is there any other discussion?
Yeah, I'd like to say something.
Sure.
I don't know if any of my fellow school board members had a chance to read the email that the New York State School Board Association sent out to us last week. It listed the top 5 qualities that a board president should have. Number 1, a good listener, someone who listens to, understands, rather than listens to respond. Number 2, a good organizer. Number 3, an effective communicator with the board, the superintendent, the stakeholders, and the media. Number 4, awareness of the position, what it entails and what it does not entail. There is no additional power held by being president. Number 5, unbiased. They allow for a free flow of ideas at the board table, not allow their personal beliefs and personal preferences to impact the decision-making. I'd like all my board members to take that into consideration when making their vote.
Any other discussion or nominations? All right, we'll do a roll call vote for the first motion of Darlene Hooper. Tom?
No.
Paige?
Yes.
Paul?
Yes.
Sarah?
No.
Darlene? Oh, that's me.
Yes. Yes.
Deb Spalding?
Yes.
Jason?
Yes.
We need to vote on Jason as well.
Yeah. Majority.
Okay, so it's resolved that Darlene Hooper be appointed to the position of Board of Education President for the 25-26 school year. Can I get a motion
A motion?
and a second?
I'll second.
Paul, I saw your hand first. All in favor?
Aye.
Noes? Abstentions? Motion passes. So I will give.
Right.
You can raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of School Board President
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of the school board president
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability. Thank you to my fellow board members for your support and confidence in me to fulfill this role. I assure you all that I will put forth my very best effort to help lead our district in the right direction and to ensure that our students receive a quality education. I'm new to this, so please bear with me if I make a few mistakes. Can you all hear me okay? Okay, if at any time you cannot hear, please raise your hand and I will try to resurrect my former teacher voice. Okay, next on our agenda, 7C, nominations for the position of vice president. Do I have a motion for a nomination?
I have motion.
Okay,
Debbie Spalding.
thank you, Paul. Second,
I'll second that.
Paige, second. Thank you, Paige. Okay, Deb Spalding has been nominated and seconded for the position of vice president. Are there any other nominations?
Yes, Jason Welch.
Okay, Jason Wells, thank you, Tom. Second,
I'll second.
okay, Sarah, thank you, Sarah. Okay, Jason Wells has been nominated and seconded for the position of vice president. Are there any other nominations? Since there are no other nominations, the nomination for vice president are now closed. We will now go on the nomination for Deb Spalding for vice president. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, say no.
No.
No,
2 noes. Okay, motion passes by 5-2. Abstentions, abstentions.
I abstain.
Jason abstains, okay. So 2 opposed, 4 yes. We will now have a vote on the nomination for vice president, for Jason Welch for vice president. Pardon?
Oh, I think so. Go ahead.
I already did you. Okay.
Sorry, I missed it.
All right, all in favor for Jason Welch?
yes,
Yes.
I'm confused by this.
All in favor for Jason
No, I
Welch
understand what you
as
said, but
vice president?
if we only voted the first time once,
Do we need to vote again on him?
Yes.
okay.
Yes?
No, so you have majority.
Because you have the majority, okay? Then let it be resolved that Deb Spalding has been appointed to the position of Board of Education Vice President for the 25-26 school year. Congratulations, Deb, for being elected as our Vice President. She will now be sworn in by our clerk, and then the code of ethics will be administered to all board members.
I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and the Constitution of the State of New York,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of School Board President,
and
School Board Vice President,
I will faithfully discharge the duties of School Board Vice President
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
And I ask that you all review the code of ethics and just sign it and have her.
Oh, okay. All right, number 8, the approval of the agenda and the minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the adoption of the agenda and approve the minutes of the June 17th, 2025 regular meeting as presented? Do I have a motion?
I'll motion.
Okay, thank you. Dave, second.
I'll make a second.
Tom, thank you. Any discussion?
If I could, so just want to point out a significant change that we made here to add the adoption of the agenda at this stage. If those of you that were at the last meeting, we had, when we were removing things as part of the particular item, going back through, we had several unnecessary motions and several duplicative motions. So in looking what happens in other boards of education, the recommendation here is that we move it to the top of the agenda here. So if there's anything that you'd like removed, this would be the time to do it. So for example, if you wanted like 9A removed, for example, now would be the time that you would request 9A to come out. No motions needed for any of that. You would just say, I'd like to have 9A removed. We set that aside, and then we move on, look at the rest of the agenda, and then address those items as they come in. It's meant to make the process a little more seamless and not have the duplicative motions that we had last time.
Okay, so at this point, that's when I would say I'd like to have the motion of 10A removed.
So you don't need a motion.
No.
So no motion is needed.
I'd
You would
like
just
that
say,
10A
yeah.
removed.
Like, can I just clarify, were you asking that 10A removed?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
To be voted on separately.
To be voted on separately.
So no motion is needed for that.
You just asked, so just as Deb just did, just ask for the number and letter to be removed.
Okay. Is there any other discussion by any of the board members?
yes, I'm sorry. So like 23, Dr. Meyer, or is this personnel? So like, I have a couple questions to ask about that. Would I do that? Have it removed so we can discuss it in executive, or how do I do that?
So 23, if it's an executive session discussion, then you can wait for executive session to do that. If you know it's something you're going to remove regardless of that conversation, you could remove it now.
So. Yeah, because I have some questions before I approve it, and that would be 23. And then for B and C, I just have some questions on that.
Okay, any other discussion?
I
Okay,
have questions about 10B, but I don't necessarily want to take it out of the agenda. And I don't think that it requires executive session. So I can just ask
well, there will
those
be a chance for
during
discussion.
then. Okay,
Yes, there will be a chance for discussion. Okay, so I guess it's resolved that 10A is removed and 23B and C will be removed, correct?
Into the regular consent agenda. Yes.
Okay, any other discussion? All in favor? All in favor?
I,
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, motion to approve the adoption of the agenda and approve the minutes of June 17th passes by a vote of 7-0. Okay, with the exception of 10A removed and 20 and 23B and C removed. Next, we have the approval of the appointment of school officers and board representatives. A, resolved that the superintendent recommends to the Board of Education the appointment of the following school officers of the Board of Education for the 25-26 school year. Chief School Officer Joshua Meyer, District Treasurer Melissa Lucia, Deputy District Treasurer Hayden Reedy, Purchase Agent Karen Mulligan, and Claims Auditor, CEWW BOCES. Do I have a motion to approve the appointment of the school officers as stated in 9A 1 through 5?
I'll motion.
Okay, thank you, Deb. Second,
I'll second.
Paige, thank you. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, motion to approve the appointment of the school officers is accepted. 9B, resolve that the superintendent recommends to the Board of Education the appointment of the following Board of Education representatives for the 25-26 school year. Now, typically, we ask the board members on which committee or committees they are interested in serving. So at this time, I will ask, there are 2 positions open for joint study. So is there any interest in anyone being on joint study?
I'll take it.
Okay, Tom?
I'm also interested.
Tom and Paige. Okay, the next position is for the New York State School Boards Association voting delegate. 1 delegate position is available. Any interest?
I'll do that again.
Okay, Sarah, thank you. And Policy Committee. There are 3 positions available. Any interest? I am interested if no one
I am.
else is. Okay, so we have Deb and Paul. Is anyone else? If not, I will take it.
I love policy.
You want me on policy?
Sure.
Okay, Jason.
I would like that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have Boquet Valley Youth Commission, 1 position available. Is there an interest?
I think I should take that.
All right, Paige,
I agree.
anyone else?
I mean, if anyone else would like to,
No.
they're welcome to.
Okay, so we have Paige for that position. Facilities Committee, 2 positions are available.
I'd like it.
Okay, Deb?
So,
Jason.
Oh, Jason, I'm sorry.
No, me. Me.
Paul's interested too. I'm
Jason.
interested as well as Paul.
Okay, so Jason and Paul,
okay.
not Deb.
Can we have 3 on that, Dr. Meyer?
I mean, there's 2 spots there. But, you know, there you can do whatever you want. And have 7 members if you'd like.
Yes or no?
The recommendation is 2 spots. You
Okay,
can-
so Jason and Paul. Okay, do I have a motion to approve the appointment of Tom Broderick and Paige Cotter Saltamont for joint study? Sarah Coleman for New York State School Boards Association voting delegate, Deb Spalding, Paul Fenton, and Jason Welch for Policy Committee, Paige Saltamont for Boquet Valley Youth Commission, and Jason Welch and Paul Fenton for Facilities Committee.
I have a clarification on the facilities committee.
Excuse me?
I have a clarification on the facilities committee. That is a liaison position and not really a voting position as it was the last couple of years.
Okay, it has been stated that it is a liaison position and it is not a regular member session position. So make sure that you know that, Jason and Paul, is that okay? Okay.
And-
So do I have
And
a
I'll
motion? Paige, thank you,
I'll
and a second. Thank you. Thank you, Deb. Any discussion? Oh, I would like to say, just add this, that I know in the past, we have not had a member report to the full board in the past. And personally, I think it would be helpful after these people meet with their committees, that they come back and have a brief summary of what they have discussed in the committees. Is that something that is possible?
So typically, when we set the agenda, that's something that we could easily add that, but that would
Okay.
be something that you and I would discuss as we're setting.
Okay. All right, so do I have a motion to approve the appointment of this schedule of list? Okay, we motioned, all right, and all in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, motion to approve the appointment of representatives for the 25-26 school year has been accepted. Okay, additional appointments, number 10. Resolved that the superintendent recommends to the Board of Education the appointment of the following individuals, organizations to be specified positions, designations for the 2025-26 school year.
So this is the one I told them.
Okay, now this is the one, yes.
I have some things.
10A has been,
If it's not a consent agenda item, I don't know that we need to pull it out
Yeah.
and start when we, right?
Yeah, that's correct. And my apologies for not clearly explaining that, but in any case, we can talk about 10A separately. We are suited to do that right now.
okay, so. Where am I here?
Are we in B?
All right, is there any discussion?
Yeah.
All right, so
Darlene, I'm sorry. I think
we
that
have to need a motion
yeah,
first.
motion
Okay,
second.
Do I have a motion to recommend to the Board of Education the appointment of the organizations and designations? Motion?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, Jason, thank you. And second?
I'll second.
Okay, Tom, second, thank you. All in favor, oh, we want to discuss?
Discussion.
Okay, well, discussion.
At this time, I would like to terminate the legal counsel agreement with Honeywell Law Firm. That's approved in the June 17th meeting.
Okay, Board Member Spalding has recommended we terminate the law firm of Honeywell Law Firm under the consent, under the agenda number 10. Okay, do I have a motion for that?
We're not-
Yeah,
We don't need, this is just discussion.
It's just discussion. Okay, so,
Essentially, to do that, I think we'd have to vote no on this whole thing, on this 10A. And then-
Yeah.
can we vote on 10A separately?
you are voting on 10A separately. So that whole chart is the recommendation. So you're voting yes or no on the chart.
We'll have to say no.
Okay,
I would say we've had this law firm since merger, and even before that, I believe it was the Westport, Elizabethtown, excuse me, where he has served as well. He knows our history. I don't know why we would make this change. I have full confidence. He's represented us well, so yeah, I think we should stick with somebody who knows and represents us well.
If I could also, there is nothing prohibiting the board from appointing a dozen law firms. You can appoint as many as you want. They're only billed for the hours that they use. If you choose, as a board, not to call Honeywell, then you would be billed nothing. So I know I've spoke to the board in the past. I am a supporter of Honeywell. I think they do great work, as Sarah mentioned. I think that they have certainly helped in a variety of different situations and would request that they stay on here, which is why they recommended. However, if you're interested in looking at new law firms, that is absolutely something we can do. Do an RFP, interview a handful of law firms, interview as many as you like. But I see no reason to terminate anyone, especially from that we've been working with for a long time. But as it stands, this is the recommendation, is the entire chart.
At this point, I agree with Sarah Coleman that, in the year and a half I've seen Honeywell, I've been impressed with them. Their knowledge. I would
Okay.
keep them in.
Discussion, I'm just looking through some of the other items here, I think we need to move forward on those, and potentially what we could do is request on the agenda for next meeting.
Right.
To take that action to a board vote.
Okay, any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, the motion to approve all the additional appointments listed in 10 A have been approved. Do I have a motion to approve all the appointments of the employees and okay, don't worry with that. Motion to approve the appointments number 10B. Okay. 10B, resolved that the superintendent recommends to the Board of Education the reappointment of all the current substitutes and the approval of the substitute rates as listed for the 2025-26 school year. Do I have a motion to approve the reappointment of all current substitutes at the rates listed? Do I have a motion?
I'll move.
Okay, thank you. Sarah, second.
I'll second.
Tom, thank you. Any discussion?
I have a few things. The non-certified teacher's assistant is potentially going to be paid more than a non-certified teacher. Is that something that we can change? And the teacher's aide, non-certified or certified, is the same amount.
Okay, Dr. Meyer,
No incentive to get the certification.
is that something that we could look into, Dr. Meyer?
Sure. Yeah, I can give you, in the past, there have been different times in the year where we changed the rates, so I can bring you something else next month if you'd like.
All in favor?
Wait, I have discussion. When you're looking at the food service helper, the clerical, the cleaner, and the bus driver, or not bus driver, those three. Food service, clerical, cleaner. There isn't anything we can do, Dr. Meyer, to take them off the minimum wage?
Again, I'm happy to bring you some more numbers next time, at the August meeting. And we can continue our discussion then.
Okay, we can revisit your questions. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, the motion to approve the reappointment of the current substitutes at the listed rates is accepted. Number 11, designations. Resolved that the superintendent recommends to the Board of Education the following designations for the 25-26 school year. Number 1, Champlain National Bank, New York Liquid Assets Fund, and New York Cooperative Liquid Assets Security System, New York class as the official bank depositories. Number 2, Press Republican and Sun Community News as the official newspapers. And number 3, the official bulletin boards are located outside the district office at the Mountain View campus and outside the principal's office at the Lakeview campus. Do I have a motion to approve the designations listed in 11A, 1 through 3?
Motion.
Okay, Paige, thank you. Second?
I'll second.
Okay, Paul, thank you. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, motion to approve the designations of our bank depositories, official newspapers, and official bulletin boards has been accepted. 11B, resolve the superintendent recommends to the Board of Education the regular monthly Board of Education meetings begin at 6 p.m. unless otherwise noted, and to establish the following meeting dates for the 25-26 school year. May I have a motion to accept the following dates and times listed in the chart under 11B?
I'll move.
Okay, thank you, Sarah. A second.
I'll second.
And Deb, thank you. Any discussion?
Yes, on the 14th at 5 p.m. How come we can't have that around 6 or so, 6:30?
For August?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
What about just leaving them all at 6?
So again, it is the whole chart. We typically done our summer meetings at 5. However, I mean, I'm relatively indifferent to the start time of the board meetings.
I think a lot of people want to come to the meetings, but they just, just getting home from work and need a couple minutes to relax. So we go for 6 o'clock. I look at that also.
Okay, do we need an amendment to change that?
Do a strike through
Yeah,
5 PM to 6
strike
PM
through.
and add on to your, B as amended.
Excuse me?
Do a strike through for 5 PM, change it to 6 PM. And in your resolution, add as amended.
Okay. All right, so motion to accept the designations listed in 11B.
And which two
With
are
the
we?
exception of the amendment to the date on August 14th being changed to 6 PM. Do I have a motion to accept those designations?
Make the motion.
Okay, thank you, Paul. Second?
A second.
Yep, thank
You
you.
already have that.
We already had a
You already put your motion and your
Oh,
second.
okay. All right, all in favor with the amendment?
Aye.
All right, all of any opposed? Okay, abstentions? Motion passes with the amendment to the August 14th meeting. Number 12, school board memberships. Resolved that the superintendent recommends to the Board of Education, the district hold the following memberships for the 25-26 school year. New York State School Board Association, number 2, Essex County School Boards Association, and number 3, Rural School Association. Do I have a motion to accept the school board memberships listed in 12A, 1 through 3?
Motion.
Jason? Okay, thank you. Excuse me?
1 through 4.
12. 12,
Okay.
3.
Yeah, that little guy up above us.
Right here, 1 through 3. Okay, so I have Jason for the motion, correct?
And I'll second.
And second, Paige. Okay, thank you, Paige. All in favor? Any discussion, first of all? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion to accept school board memberships is approved, 7-0. Number 13, authorizations. The superintendent recommends the authorization to the superintendent, principals, secretary, and central treasurer as listed in items 13A, 1 through 5. Do I have a motion to approve the authorizations listed in 13A, 1 through 5? Motion? Motion. Deb, thank you. Second?
Second.
Second, Tom, thank you. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion to approve authorizations accepted. Number 14, bonding of personnel. Resolved that the superintendent recommends to the Board of Education the blanket bonding for all employees of the district. Do I have a motion?
I'll move.
Okay, Tom, thank you. Second?
I'll second.
Okay, thank you, Sarah. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion to approve the bonding of all personnel is accepted. Number 15, cooperative purchasing. Resolved that the superintendent recommends to the Board of Education participation in the following cooperative purchasing agreements for the 25-26 school year. Do I have a motion to approve of the cooperative purchasing agreements listed in 15A, 1 and 2?
Make the motion.
Okay, Paul, thank you. Second?
I'll second.
Second, Paige, thank you. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion to approve the cooperative purchasing agreements accepted. Impartial hearing officers, number 16. A, resolve the superintendent recommends to the Board of Education that the board president or vice president be designated as having the power to appoint an impartial hearing officer who has been selected in accordance with the regulations of the Commissioner of Education on behalf of the Board of Education for the 25-26 school year. Do I have a motion to approve the impartial hearing officers? Motion?
No motion.
Okay, Paige, thank you. Second?
Second.
Okay, thank you, Paul. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion to approve the impartial hearing officers is accepted. Number 17. Resolve the superintendent recommends to the Board of Education the following for the 25-26 school year. Do I have a motion to approve the other recommendations to the board as listed in 17A, 1 through 5? Motion?
I'll move.
Okay, thank you, Sarah. And a second?
Second,
Second, Tom, thank you. Any discussion?
I have one question.
Okay.
The tuition rate is set up that, do we have new kids coming in or did we cap it?
No, we got the best in my memory, I want to say 2 years ago. So 2 years ago, we
I didn't know if we reopened it, but we did cap it. Thank you.
Okay, any other discussion?
Meaning the district is not open to accepting.
Only the ones that were already here, right? Okay.
Okay.
I do have another discussion. Dr. Meyer, the policies. Yeah, I know it can be a little cumbersome, but I'm wondering if we might consider, Westport Board used to do like a number of them every board meeting. Does Boquet Valley do that?
So,
Review them and update them, like 2 or 3, so we get through them all over the course of the year?
yep, so,
Yes.
with the, I think the short answer is yes. There's one on the agenda for tonight, you know, there's the cell phone update. But typically what the policy committee has done is, you know, they're grouped into, it'll be by thousands, right? The 1,000s, 2,000, so those are in different chunks. And last year, I believe, I need to double check, but I think we did 1 through 3,000. Those are a little bit smaller chapters. 4,000 is a pretty big one. So this year, getting to the 4,000s would probably, you know, take a good chunk of the year, maybe into the 5s as well. But yes, we go through them and we look to update. The policy service has definitely changed since then as well, where they do a lot of that work for you, but which is really nice. But yeah, you'll certainly be apprised of that as part of the policy committee.
Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, motion to approve the other recommendations listed in 17A, 1 through 5, accepted. Number 18, executive session. Specifically, the board anticipates entering into executive session to discuss number 6, the medical, financial, credit, or employment history of a particular person or persons. Do I have a motion to enter into executive session? Okay, Paul, thank you. Second?
second,
Okay, Tom, thank you. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, motion to enter into executive session is approved. We anticipate it lasting approximately,
We have several new board members. I would not be foolish enough to put a number out.
okay. Well, we will return as soon as possible, and if it gets too lengthy, perhaps we
Yeah.
can put it into 2 sessions, 2 executive sessions. Okay? So it is now. Oh, now we have to go in.
We go.
Yeah. Go down.
I know why.
The meetings.
Okay, do I have a motion to return to regular session? Paul, thank you. Second?
I'll second.
Okay, Paige, second. Thank you. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion to enter back into regular session was approved. Okay, now moving on. We're to number 19, public comment. Our agenda offers two public comment sections. Opinions, ideas, and concerns that are offered by the public will be considered and taken under advisement. We have set aside 15-minute period, giving the audience time to share their thoughts with us. Please raise your hand to be acknowledged by the board president. When called upon, please identify yourself and give your address, limiting your comments to 3 minutes. Thank you for expressing your concerns, and you are opening it up now, please. Yes?
My name is Megan Ostrowski. I live on Moss Road in New York. My children have been in the district before and after the shift in Lakeview administration. I appreciate the different strategies to address student needs, openness to integrating with nature-based learning, and transparency in decision making. The routine surveys and prompt responses assures me that leadership is receptive to my input and generally wants to foster an improved learning experience. Administration arrives early, greets children and at the door, regularly attends after-school events, and which is a testament to a rare work ethic. I admire all of the courage to participate in the conversation. Parents should feel comfortable advocating for their children or coming forward with varying points of view without being blocked, live streamed, and ridiculed for voicing their experiences. A fear of coming forward has now been cultivated where parents eager to speak are terrified their children will be announced on social media. Is this not the behavior we hope our children never have to fall victim to? I fear there is no forward momentum when focusing on the removal of administrators. I am skeptical of pool candidates with the experience. Rash decisions to remove someone from their role without proper documentation, proof of failure to follow improvement plans open to district up to substantial lawsuit. None of us are privy to the experiences of others because students' information is protected. We cannot discuss items that identify a child in a public setting, but why are we not here discussing specific themes? To accommodate state standards, the new curriculum was voted on by the educators and approved by the BOE. What is not working? If IEPs are not being met, let's brainstorm together and be solution focused. I heard tutoring. Is it a budget issue or a lack of qualified candidates? When we specifically identify what needs improvement, we can propose viable solutions. Deadlines should be set for such goals, and teams charging those efforts are held accountable. Most importantly, and I'm almost done, we have a capital project that a majority of voters seem to reject, risking the 91% coverage our district will never get back. Do we really believe that we can provide a quality education that would benefit our students and attract educators and young families by shoving the student body into Mountain View as is? The basic renovation does not include new electrical and bare essentials. The archaic plumbing means the toilets don't always function in student bathrooms and hallways occasionally smell like feces. At minimum, can there be a plan to remove all lead piping, decaying carpets covering asbestos floors, ceilings that leak, windows in need of replacement, reducing costly drafts, weather stripping, peeling off? Can we prioritize safety features such as carbon monoxide detectors? This is there's minimal time to discuss a plan that this community would likely approve, but conversations continue to be derailed. Can we please institute an era of solution-focused conversations and realistic improvements? Thank you.
Thank you, Megan, for expressing your concerns. We'll certainly take them under advisement. Is there anyone else who has a comment? Yes?
Thank you, Mrs. Super.
Yes.
Pete Castine, Shazy, New York, history teacher. Tonight, the first thing I got to do is thank someone very special to me, very, very special to these two buildings. He's been the heart and soul of the history department for the last 25 years. In my opinion, he's been the epitome of excellence. We can do a round of applause for the retiring Bradley Truck. Second point, I just want to thank the district members of the board, both past and present, Dr. Meyer, Mrs. Dixon Cross, for your continued support of the Model UN program. That program has been going on in these buildings for over 30 years now. I've been very fortunate enough to be part of that for about 20. And you guys, I look around the room here and I see parents, I see former students, current students, my delegates, and I speak on behalf of them. But thank you for that program. It does wonderful things. The ability to speak, write, research, and most importantly, come together, I think, with diplomacy, even when opinions differ. To see our kids do that is an amazing thing. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Castine. Thank you, Mr. Castine. It's a wonderful program that you're a part of, and we're proud to be able to represent it and support it. And congratulations, Mr. Schrock, on your well-deserved retirement. I hope you have many years of fun in the sun. Make a comment. Mr. Jackson?
Jim Jackson, 864 US Route 9, was in town of New York. Sound like a broken record in this regard, but talk on the street lately has perked my interest again. I was under the impression that we had gone out for bids on an abatement at the Mountain View School for the carpet removal that encapsulates tile on the first and second floor in selected rooms. I've heard through several other people that the potential is there to have some carpet work being done on the second floor. I do not know what rooms, but I'm assuming that there were probably rooms that had that encapsulated tile. Tile may not be asbestos containing material, but the glue underneath certainly would be. We encapsulated that with carpet as a cost savings back 30 years ago when we did the first major renovation. I would caution the school district to be very mindful of the regulations regarding asbestos removal, and the carpet, it encapsulates it at this time. If it generates fragmented tile and exposes mastic or dust from tile, if the tile is in fact asbestos containing, that is airborne, friable material. It's going to get everywhere. And once again, we'll be subject to fines like we were here in Westport by the state, plus putting the likelihood of potential harm to students and faculty and staff of the school. That's all I've got to say on that matter. I hope it's being addressed properly.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson, for your valuable information. We will certainly take it under advisement. Number 20, financial. Does anyone else have a comment? Okay, number 20, we'll move. Oh, yes, go ahead.
My name is Jason Beadle. I live on Jersey Street in Essex, and I have been an educator for 26 years in many different ways. I want to thank the board for deciding to run and be on the board. That is a position that's very important. I really appreciate the administrators in this district and how you support kids and faculty. That's very, very important. I want to thank past teachers, past educators, people who are here for any reason to support our kids and our community, because that's what it's about. I see on that board up there, this is a reorganizational meeting. I really, really want to reorganize to goodness. There's negativity out in the world, there's negativity out in our communities, and I understand that. We can be very nice about it, and we can work together to do the best we can for the kids, no matter what your opinion is. When there's negativity and when it's allowed to be on your personal website or your Facebook page or put out in the community, even if you're not the one saying it, if you're allowing it on your page to be mean to teachers, administrators, or anybody, that's what people notice about Boquet Valley. They go online and do searches and they see these things, that's what they see. I want goodness to be there for the kids' sake. That's why we do things. That's why I've been an educator for so long and I love it. And my colleagues are the best. They keep the school running with the goodness in their hearts and what they do for kids. And when things are said negatively to administrative people, when it's said negatively to other teachers, it hurts me because I put a lot into my job and teachers can get burned out. And if somebody's looking for a district to come to, they want to see the goodness. And they want to see the goodness that's out there. So I ask for that. Thanks.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Number 20, financials.
Anyone else?
Anyone else? Okay, yes.
Ryan Hathaway, Lewis, New York. I'd like to speak about the tiles that have been encapsulated for 30 years. That's 30 years of kids throwing up on carpets. That's 30 years of foot traffic. How much longer do we expect this carpet to encapsulate the problem and kick that can down the road? We have a perfect opportunity to get some extra money from the state to solve those problems that we have kicked down the road for 30 years.
Okay, thank you. Comment from anyone else? Okay, since there are no more comments, we'll proceed with number 20, financials. Do I have a motion to approve the following financial reports as listed in 20A1, the budget status report dated 6/27/2025? Do I have a motion?
No motion.
Okay, thank you, Deb. A second?
I'll second.
Tom, thank you. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion to approve the budget status report dated 6/27/25 has been accepted. Number 21, CSE, CPSE, and 504 recommendations. A, accept and approve the Committee on Preschool Special Education, Committee on Special Education, and Committee on 504 Plan recommendations. Do I have a motion?
No motion.
Thank you. And a second?
Aye.
Paul, thank you. Any discussion on this? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion to approve the CSE, CPSE, and 504 recommendations has been accepted. Number 22, action items, consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve items listed in 20 through A through H? I move. Okay, thank you, Sarah. Second?
I'll second.
Okay, thank you, Paige. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Okay. Motion to approve the action item consent agenda 22A through H has been accepted. Number 23, personnel consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve items listed in 23A through J 40? Do I have a motion?
I'll move.
Thank you. Sarah, a second?
I'll second.
Paige, thank you. Any discussion? I do need to, recuse myself for 23C, since that is a relative of mine. Okay. Any other discussion?
Josh,
Yeah, I'm sorry, but we did our, you're totally fine. We already pulled out B and C.
Okay,
So I think, so
Okay.
we'll do the consent agenda.
okay.
We'll
so
come
we're
back to
saying
B
what-
and C and then you can recuse yourself.
All right, so we're voting now on 23A through J40 with the exception of B and C.
Correct.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions?
I abstain.
Okay. And motion to approve the personnel consent agenda for 22A through J40, with the exception of B and C, has been accepted. So now we vote for, may I have a motion for consent agenda 22B and C? Excuse me, 23, I'm sorry, 23, B and C.
I'll motion.
I'll
Okay,
second.
thank you. And any discussion?
Josh, could you explain the whole clerk thing so that the community understands?
Sure. So our, predating the merger, our clerical employees had, job-specific titles. So, secretary to the principal, secretary of the Mountain View campus, secretary to the principal of the Lakeview campus, secretary to the director of student support services, secretary to guidance. I think that's it. I'm forgetting one of the same suit. That did not allow us the ability as a district or the employee, the ability to move from one position to the other if those were to open up. So by switching to a clerk title, which is our intent to move some of the additional positions to a clerk title, that will allow for that flexibility. So it's beneficial for the district as well as the employee to do that.
Okay, so we're back to voting on personnel consent agenda for 22B and
23.
23B and C. All in favor?
Aye.
With the exception, I do have to recuse myself from B, I believe it is.
C.
No, C, from C, because it's a relative of mine. Anyone else, any opposed? Abstentions? Okay, motion to approve the personnel consent agenda 23B and C has been approved. Okay, 24, policy. A, as recommended by Erie One Policy Services, approve the revision of policy 7316, the use of internet-enabled devices during the school day. Do I have a motion to approve the revision of the policy number 7316? Motion? Okay, thank you, Paul. Second?
Second.
Tom, thank you. Any discussion?
If I could just add, this is the policy that reflects the governor's language change on cell phone use throughout the school day. Often we'll get policy revisions that change a sentence here and there. This is very much reads like a brand new policy. Just for your awareness, so you can check that out. It should be on the website very soon. And this will then lead to some further handbook level discussions that will get more to the actual procedure of what that will look like on both campuses.
Okay, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, motion to approve the revision of policy 7316 has been accepted. Number 25, student board member. We would like to thank and welcome Sadie Burgess. I'd like to welcome you. She's our new student member. Would you stand, Sadie, please? We are very happy to have you, and we're looking forward to working with you and listening carefully to the very valuable advice that you're able to provide us from a student's perspective. So we thank you very much and look forward to working with you. Sadie.
Thank you.
Okay, number 26. Superintendent's update, district-wide safety plan, superintendent's report, and district grant updates. Okay, now I'll give the floor over to our superintendent, Dr. Meyer.
Thank you. So tonight, looking at the grants as I typically do, if our administrators are here, I let them talk about the grants as they are a little more boots on the ground as far as the grants go. So go ahead, Mr. Catlett.
Yes, there's no real update for the federal grants. We are in the application process now. We submit them by the end of summer. For other grants, we've officially received a $7,500 grant from the Silvamo Corporation, and I want to thank Mr. Welch for his support and at least getting the contact information. There's nothing else to grease the wheels, I acknowledge that, but at least the contact information, I appreciate that. We are going to work with the University of Kansas next school year to do the CW Fit program again. As a reminder, last school year, we received $20,000 just for participating, so we hope to do that again next year. And I have a meeting tomorrow morning with a local business who has tentatively agreed to support a science curriculum for the elementary school at a cost of $4,000. So once that's official, I will name that community partner and share more information about that program. That's great.
Well, extended school day, we're starting year 5 on today. And then we have summer OASIS programming starting on Monday, July 7th, and we have around 100 participants so far for this year.
And Ms. Dixon-Cross, not to put you on the spot, but can you remind us in year 1, do you remember how many participants we had that first summer?
16.
Yeah.
8 improvements.
Right, 1.
That's just over the summer?
Yep, summer only.
And we
I
do
guess
have,
to that point, Paige, we have to have 195 unduplicated students with over 15 hours in summer, weekends, or holiday outside of school hours. So we've met that every year. We've exceeded our goal, so. Thank you.
thank you. So I do have a UPK update, and again, I'm going to turn over to Mr. Kyler to talk a little bit about this.
Yeah, so we've applied for something called CIT and CSIS programs in our pre-K, and this gets awfully confusing, so I'll be as quick as possible. So the CIS is an itinerant service in the pre-K. So this is occupational therapists, teachers, speech and language pathologists, physical therapy. This allows us to have our providers, our Boquet Valley employees, go into the pre-K program to provide those related services. As it stands right now, some special education students have lack of access, lack of providers to provide those services. So this allows access to those students while they're in our pre-K setting. The more exciting service is a special class in an integrated setting. We've, again, been given tentative approval from the state. This allows us to have one general education teacher and a special education teacher in our pre-K program to have an integrated pre-K setting. And the reason this is really beneficial is, again, lack of access and a push for inclusiveness. And it allows us to accept out-of-district students who have that recommendation on their IEP through the CPSE program. And we are allowed to get reimbursement through the county for those costs. And we can maximize our UPK grant. So the maximum allotment for this year is $275,000. Last year, we roughly about $100,000 we got from the UPK grant. So if we max out at 20 students, we can get the full amount of the pre-K grant and get reimbursed for programs and services through the county. So this is a really great program. Other districts are competing to get this service in their school. So this is definitely a positive for our school to be able to get both of these programs in our pre-K setting. So that's that.
Great, thank you.
Anyone else?
So I do have a couple more slides here. So at the June meeting, we talked a little bit about the 25-26 goals. And I believe at that point, I just gave you what the goal was. This slide gets a little bit more into the objectives. So our first goal for the last few years has essentially been to uphold and improve our previous initiatives. The idea there is that we're now going on about 5 years here where we set goals. We don't want to lose sight of the goals we've accomplished in previous years. So we make sure that we keep track of those. Our second goal, we're looking to improve student performance in ELA and math through effective data-informed instruction. And here we're looking at strengthening our instructional practices, using assessment data to drive measurable growth on student achievement in ELA and math across all grade levels. Goal 3, continuing planning for a facilities project. As you know, the facilities committee wrapped up their work in the spring of this past year. We now have a plan. We're working with the architects to get something sent to state ed, at which point we will either reconvene the same facilities committee or a new iteration of the facilities committee to continue those discussions. But as it stands right now, we're at a little bit of a waiting game with state ed. So there'll be more on that for sure. Our goal 4, improve our hiring, onboarding, and support for new staff. This is an area that we do know that we've made some improvements year after year, but we really want to make a concerted effort to really take a look at that this year and make it a much more seamless process. The example I always use is, if we hire you over the summer, July or August, pretty good starting in September. But if we hire you in November, we hand you the keys and say, all right, good luck. And we know we can do better than that. So we're really making a concerted effort to make that happen this year. So those are the 25, 26 goals. I meet with the admin team in a few weeks here, at which point we'll take a look at our key results. So what specifically we're going to need to do to accomplish these objectives, and then continue breaking it down. And from there, those go down to like a building level, and everyone will have their different role in that process. And these get reported on you twice a year. And we'll continue to talk about those. Our areas to focus on this year, the 25-26 school year. The facilities, as I mentioned, that's one of our goals, the new cell phone mandate policy that we just adopted. We know that there's going to be some growing pains, so to speak, with that new cell phone mandate, but we're going to figure it out together. The ELA and math instruction, we're going to continue to focus there. Hiring, onboarding, and support, as I just mentioned. And then the last 2 are a result of the big district-wide feedback survey that we did. Expanding student voice is going to be part of that, as well as increased admin team visibility across the district. So that's what we're focusing on. And some areas of concern, which are next here. So we're looking at our discipline procedures, and again, these and special education as a result of actually all 4 of these are a result of the district-wide feedback survey, the discipline and special education, cross-campus collaboration, and more community communication. So you'll see in the next few weeks, likely at the August board meeting, board members might see it beforehand in your folders, some plans to address some of these items. We do have to, at our July meeting, we talked about our district safety plan. So 2 years ago, we did really a full revamp of the district safety plan with the help of our SRO, Ron Huesner, did a ton of work on that with our committee. This year, there's really only one minor change that we're looking to add. And this district safety plan will be on the website. And there's a 30-day, starting tomorrow, there's a 30-day comment period. If you have comments, you can either email myself or Bridget. And if you have any comments on those, or you could, certainly give me a call or stop in. But the only real change is adding this one paragraph, and this really reflects what we've been trying to do anyway, but wanted to get it in the district safety plan to make it, again, a more concerted effort here. So what it says is on both campuses, the campus access control during instructional hours. While all entrances are currently kept locked and visitor sign-in procedures are in place, the district is committed to further enhancing security by exploring additional measures to limit public access to school buildings while students are in session. This may include infrastructure improvements to vestibules, more rigorous visitor screening protocols, and expanded use of electronic access controls. These considerations are being viewed as part of ongoing facilities planning and will be reflected in updates to the confidential building level safety plans. So as a reminder, the district plan is a public facing document. So you can see that the building plan, those are confidential documents that certainly the building level administrators have access to, but those are not public facing. So if you read this and say, well, that's pretty vague, that's the intent. It's supposed to be. The building level plans will have many more specifics in there. So that's the only change, but I can tell you that if you go to other school districts, they do tend to have more secure vestibules. They do have the electronic sign-in process and screening protocols and a lot of these things there together. So this just means that we're going to explore those. We're not committing to anything, just that we're looking to further enhance those, and we'll do those through our building plans and some of the other projects that we're looking at. I would open up to the board. Any questions just about the district safety plan before I move on? Okay.
Okay.
And sorry, almost done, I promise. The Board of Education retreat still to be decided. I'm still waiting on 2 board members to fill out their the survey that I sent out, and I will let you know privately if you haven't done that. And if you haven't done it by the August meeting, then your name will be up on the slide.
I'll get it done, Dr. Martin.
So that's what I have. So thank you very much. And if the board has any questions, I would entertain those now.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Kyler. Thank you, Mrs. Dixon Cross, and thank you, Dr. Meyer. Any other questions from the board about anything that was discussed? All right, then we'll move on to number 27. We have another public comment. Our agenda offers 2 public comment sections. Opinions, ideas, and concerns that are offered by the public will be considered and taken under advisement. We have set aside a 15-minute period, giving the audience time to share their thoughts with us. Please raise your hand to be acknowledged by the board president. When called upon, please identify yourself, give your address, and limit your comments to 3 minutes. Do I have anyone in the audience who would like to have a comment? Mr. Jackson?
Or as it may seem to believe, Jim Jackson again. Ryan, starting bottom of the process here, the 30-year-old carpet certainly needs to be replaced. And if we're planning on incorporating this abatement in the capital project, that's a good 4 to 5 years away. There's funds available right now. Typically, the summer is the hottest time, the most difficult time to get abatement and monitoring companies to participate in this type of deal. You put your request for pricing out in the late spring, you get your contract signed, ready to go, so that the school year is done, the rooms are evacuated of all furnishings, the testing agency and the abatement company work together to get all of the necessary enclosures set up, the testing facilities and equipment set up. Each floor is going to take approximately 10 to 14 days from start to finish, best to worst case scenario. They can both be done simultaneously, or you could do one floor, then go to the other floor. And then the carpet has new carpet put down, new flooring, whatever it's going to be. But that bid has to be in so that you can approve it. And then it comes out of, I would assume, either your maintenance or your capital reserve that you've got a fairly substantial buildup in right now. I know that, I believe that this went out for bid several months ago. I don't know the status of that, if in fact it actually did go out for bid, but that's the protocol. Getting somebody in there to do anything this summer is more than likely going to be a bit difficult, but it's certainly worth exploring. I have one more thing to say about past practices of the board. We've not only had a comment section, we also took questions that, if legally could be answered that night, were answered. Oftentimes, it required getting back to the questionnaire with a response that had to be researched. I would appreciate if the board would consider going more than just a comment section and actually allowing people to ask questions, because I'm sure there's a number of people that would do that. In past practice, we used to do that at the very beginning of the meeting, and in part, 60 to 70% of the people would ask their questions and then leave the meeting. They weren't concerned about anything else other than getting their question answered. I think you'd get a lot more community support and sponsorship for the attendance if we got back to this practice. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Jackson. That was very informative, and we will certainly take it under consideration. Mr. Bueller?
Thank you. My name is Paul Vilo. I live at Blood Hill Lewis. I've been teaching in the Mountain View building for, I think it's 28 years. I wanted to just mention something, the important thing that Jay brought up is the kindness and the decorum. Not recently, but it's evolved to a different place. There's a disturbing evolution of which we have these meetings on Facebook Live, and then the comment section lights up and says absolutely deplorable, abhorrent things about people within our community. Those people don't deserve it. And I'm frankly, and some of you know me, if I disagree with you, I'm going to disagree hard, but we're all kind, good people trying to do good things. That is a disturbing thing. That affects the morale of teachers. So you're on your team, and things are being said about whether it be your leadership or parts of your school or anything else like that. It really affects the morale of the team. We see it. We have to try to unsee it and try not to be distracted by it and turn around and go to work, and we're face to face with the kids of the district. I can only speak right now for Mountain View. I've been on many teams and it's evolved and people come and go. The team at Mountain View right now, I can attest, is amongst the best I've ever worked with in all areas of my life. Where the rubber meets the road, the relationship between the teacher and the student, it is absolutely outstanding in our building right now. And so when we see things light up and say things about people that we respect and people that have served our community without pay and taken a beating for it, it's not good enough. So I'm just going to say, if you're ever around it or it's next to you in some comment section, I think it's time that we go head to head with that and they figure out a different way to express themselves, because they're wrecking reputations and character of other people. It's not fair. Who's going to want to come here? Who's going to want to serve? Who's going to want to be a teacher here? I'm heading out the door, and I hope that there's some new young teacher coming out of hopefully Portland State, go Red Dragons, that want to be here. But they're going to see this stuff. I don't know if this is, I understand we have links later. Does this video make it to, I know you can't answer the public comment, but I'm one to say that, and thank you.
Since our executive session, I did not. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
Yeah, I want to, obviously, I know what Paul and Jay stood up and said. I'm Sarah Wright. I've been a teacher starting my 25th year. I'm an English teacher, and our words matter. And I have a few things I'd like to say. First of all, I think that the people in this room collectively should always be moving toward a solution that is in the best interest of the health of the entire district. And that I ask you to avail yourselves of people who are happy to inform you. There are a lot of people, collectively, the number of years of experience in here is astonishing. And we have good information and real information. We've been through terrible hardships, but I will say this. Dr. Meyer just took responsibility for improving our hiring and retention practices, but everyone at that table is equally responsible. I have seen so much turnover in our school. We live in a small community. People contact me because they're interested in a job. And the first question they ask is, what is happening on social media? What is going on at those Board of Education meetings? What if they don't like me? Can I stand up and say, people in this room are terrified of retribution. They're concerned about voicing their opinion. But I will tell you, the number of people sitting in this room tonight is saying a lot more than the words that are being spoken when people stand up. We have expectations of our students, and we have expectations of our community members. Boquet Valley is way better than what it has been. Way better. And I will tell you, through mergers and remote learning and COVID and unspeakable tragedies, I have never seen such a hit to morale as what has happened in the last 2 years on social media with campaigns. When I have students write a research paper, they get a 0 if they don't cite their sources. People can stand up and say, I've heard, I've been told, it's been brought to my attention. If you can't say that you have a concrete issue that's been brought forward because it's reasonable, it's not worth discussion. We should be honest, forthright, and working collaboratively to do the right thing by all of the constituents in this room, taxpayers, teachers, board members, and most importantly, our students.
And I will tell you, I have witnessed in my classroom that what happens at these meetings trickles into our student body. They are way smarter than you think. They are way more capable than you think, and they don't like it. Thank you.
Anyone else would like to make a comment? Okay, since there are no more comments, we did not have an opportunity to discuss everything in executive session. So I am now going to ask for a motion to amend the agenda to include a second executive session. And I have a motion. I'll make the motion. Okay, thank you. Deb, second.
I'll second.
Tom, second. Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, motion passes. We are now going into executive session, and I'm not sure how long it will take. So we'll be back as soon as possible.
Will there be any voting on the? Or can these people leave?
I think it depends on the discussion.
We could have voted.
Possibly.
Okay.
There's no
Hopefully, it's you, maybe.
That's right. Okay. We are now returning from executive session, number 28, our next meeting. Regular meeting will be August 14th, 2025 at
6 o'clock.
6 p.m. at the Mountain View campus. Is there any discussion regarding the upcoming meeting? Okay, do I have a motion to amend the meeting time for August 14th to 6 p.m.?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Paul, and then second, Deb.
I'll second.
All right, motion to amend the meeting time is 6 p.m. We vote again? No, don't have to vote again? Okay. Adjournment, do I have a motion to adjourn our meeting? Yes.
Oh, yes.
Thank you, Tom, second. I'll second. Sarah? Thank you. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion to adjourn our meeting is accepted at 9:44 p.m.